this is Oakleaf Cakes. My name is Amanda. We're here today at the USS Constitution ship. It's the oldest commissioned floating warship, and we're going to make a cake of one of its cannons. This is a replica here. So we're going to make a cake for the 221st birthday, and we are about to go on a tour of the ship, which should be really cool. And we're going to go do some research and some sizing and some photographing and really get a sense of what these cannons really look like on the ship. So we got to take a behind-the-scenes tour of the ship. We had visited the ship a couple times before in years past, but this time we got an extra special behind-the-scenes look of different levels of the ship and the sleeping quarters. It was really cool to see all the things you wouldn't see on their normal tour. It was really nice of them to give us the tour, and it'll really help us make a great cake for them. Okay, so we're going to be doing 2 layers of cake as I have it. And then I'm going to put some straws in for support, a cardboard layer, and then I'll stack the remaining 3 layers on top of that, of which the cannon will be sculpted. Usually we do 3 layers of cake and then a cardboard. This instance, I don't want to have the cardboard cutting through the middle of my cannon and getting in my way. So we're going to put the cardboard down lower, we're going to put it right here, and then we'll have a good 3-layer slice for them to cut into from the top down. Okay, now I need cake on the length of the cannon. All right, so for sculpting the wooden platform that it was on, there was a lot of measuring and measuring and measuring and remeasuring to get the proportions to look right, because once you cut a chunk of cake, it's off. You can't just stick it back on. So there was a lot of, this is 3 inches up from the bottom, this is 4.5 inches up from the bottom, and double checking and making sure it was right, and then repeating that same staircase carving on the other side. Luckily, Tyler was around to help me math. My brain was pretty tired at this point, but once we got all those stairs carved, then we were able to trim up the sides and make it all flush. We even had our friendly alligator friend show up. Wow, it's looking like it. Gosh, that took a long time.
For these wheels, I'm going to try and get probably the crispest edge I can using mix. The first time I tried this, I just tried to fondant it all with one piece, and that didn't work super well. It ended up getting a little bumpy on the back. So the second round, these are all my little front parts, or sorry, these are all the backs. And in theory, I'm going to flip them over and fondant them, and this will all be one nice piece. So I'm just gonna smooth this on and use the 2 smoothers and my fingers to try and get this as crisp an edge as possible. So the wheels have these fun little screws around them that I'm gonna try and replicate with the piping tips. So the wheels have this kind of double pattern. I don't know if on the Canon they're actually 2 wheels put together, but there's a line, so we're just gonna go add that in all the way around.
So the color of the paint on that wooden base is like a reddish brown terracotta maroon color. There's Mr. Rogers in the background. So that the color was a very specific, you know, trying to be a bunch of colors at once, and I couldn't let it be too fleshy. So that it was adding some more red. Nope, that's too fleshy. Add some more green and tone it down a little bit. So after much trial and error and approval from the other decorators, we went ahead with it. And then fondantine square cakes is a challenge, but then fondantine a staircase cake, essentially, with all those little corners was definitely a 2-man job. So we had to work quickly to get all those corners stuck on there so they didn't rip. I wish I could just with my eyes, like, yeah. Like Laser Cat, decorate this cake.
Smaller fingers.
Different shaped fingers.
Like a little Edward Scissorhand moments, just like boom, that's all you need.
Uh-huh.
Goal. Get the edges while not stabbing the Canon at the corner of this.
So in real life, the wooden base is an object, and then the Canon is an object, and they're 2 separate objects that get put together after each are made. However, the cake is built in a way that it's all one piece, just for stability. So we had to make it look like it was 2 separate pieces. That was the hard part. And then filling in that fondant gap where the space between the wooden base and the Canon was just not wide enough even for our tools or even our fingers, and we just had a lot of trouble covering that. So with a little bit of persistence, we got it to work.
The game here is going to be to make the ribbon thin enough to fit in, but wide enough to cover the space that's left.
We are airbrushing black on the black part of the Canon so that it is a richer black, so that it looks more cast iron. and it will add more shape and shadow and a richer color. So let's do it. And because of the wheels are probably also made of the same material, we must also brush them with air. That way it is matchy-matchy. After much trial and error of getting that red color, I had so much left over, and it's a very specific color to use on another cake in the future. So in order to use it up, I just put it on the base, knowing I was going to paint the wooden floor anyways. The floor of the boat is like this old, obviously old, well painted over wood floor, like plank floor. So I knew I was going to paint over it all anyways. So I put it on in strips, added some wood grain texture, added some marks for the planking, and mixed up a good, like, old kind of black gray, well-worn paint finish color, and stuck that on there, and nobody even knows it was ever red. It worked out pretty good. All right, so it's ready for delivery. The exciting part was it was raining and it got delivered to a boat. So that was a little exciting. But we've delivered to this boat before. There's just a series of ramps and more ramps and staircases, and, you know, with a little bit of muscle, we got it there. The last test of delivery was the steep staircase, which, as long as you keep the cake level, you're good to go. All right, after we got it all unwrapped, we only had a little bit of sticking to the paint, but nothing too detrimental. We are extremely happy with this cake, and all the sailors on board were also very pleased. So we were happy to hear that. If you like our videos, definitely like and subscribe to see more excitement.